Welcome to Noona Ya Business Podcast, episode 39, 5 Things on Our Mind, with your hosts, Becca and Megan. We each have 5 things on our mind today, and we get together to suss them out. Megan wants to talk about mono, the music, not the illness. Becca has conflicted feelings on While You Were Sleeping, the Kdrama, not the American movie. And we both want to know why the Korean entertainment industry makes it hard for us to Google things. BTS, BIGBANG, help some fangirls out already. We also play a listener-requested game, What Does BTS Smell Like? That's what you're in for today on Noona Ya Business.
So, you're back.
I'm home.
Welcome
I've
home.
returned. As I've told you, my setup is a little bit in flux, but it'll work for now. I had Nate, when I was at Nate's, he had these like 2 massive computers because he edits film stuff on them. They're like huge and beautiful, and the resolution was amazing. And now I'm talking to you on my little iPad mini. It's stacked on, I'm going to take a picture and send it to you. It's stacked on every book I own at the moment. Yep, I'm going to send it to you.
That picture?
I believe so. So thanks again for doing this. I'm happy to be back. I missed you. I'm still far away from you, but I'm closer to you.
Yay! I love it. Do you have any... I'm terrible. I'm so out of it. Do you have any reassesses from last week? What was our topic last week?
I totally did. What scares K-drama and K-pop
Oh,
fans?
that's right. Okay.
I feel like I did have a Let's Reassess, and I didn't write it down per usual, and that is a problem. I feel like it's not so much a Let's Reassess, but revisit. Some of the stuff we talked about, I feel like we got a lot of feedback from people who were like, yes, I agree. I had that same experience with, we were talking, it was about the pronunciation, criticisms over pronunciation.
Yes.
We had a ton of people reach out with some help for us to explain how to pronounce Jungkook's name. I've come to a realization that I can't say it right. I'm going to keep trying, but based on what they're telling me, I just have so much... It sounds right in my head, and then it's like when I say it out loud, it sounds wrong. So I'm going to keep practicing. But thanks to everybody who reached out and was really cool about it and helped us and gave us some good feedback. Also, thank you to one of our listeners who sent us an email. I believe it was Maria, and she put the subject line as like, "Don't worry, Megan, this isn't a mean email," because
I saw that email and it made me smile.
I mentioned last week how I'm always like a little bit worried just because the internet can be kind of a negative place. I'm always worried we're going to open an email and it's just going to be somebody telling us that we stink. So that was really funny and really cheered me up. So I appreciated that. So again, everybody, thanks for your emails. Thanks for your comments and letting us know some of our pronunciation questions. We're working on it.
Every day. I told you we had, I believe it was Lear was giving us advice on how to pronounce Gongyu.
Gongyu.
And still, we've had 3 podcasts since then, and I'm like, hey, Gongyu. I told you.
I know. We're like from... If you're not from the U.S. and you've heard of the Heartland, it's like the middle of the country, right? And the joke here in the U.S. about the Heartland is that we're like, we all talk kind of funny, like, Midwestern. I feel like people kind of make fun of a Midwestern accent. It's very regional, but really it's like no accent. It's this completely unremarkable way of talking.
It's the most boring dialect of English.
It's very boring. It's got very like harsh syllables, and the way we say things sounds a little harsh. And it's just like, you learn it and you can't lose it. So we're going to do our best, but sorry in advance. You got a couple Midwestern gals here and we have a very distinct way of saying things, and it is not always pleasant to the ears.
You know what? We're here. We're trying.
Do you ever think about the English language in general and how bonkers it is? Because Nate and I were having a conversation about, we had eaten a large meal, and I said, my body is revolting. And then I said, not like it's disgusting, like it's fighting back. And we sat there for like 10 minutes like, wow, weird that the same word means those 2 things.
Yes.
Like, and then it was just like... English is dumb. But also very nuanced and interesting. Okay, anyway, I just wanted to share that with you.
You've got me thinking now about that. Revolting and
Crazy
revolting.
words. Revolting
My
and
body
revolting.
is both revolting and revolting.
I'm sure I then made a joke of like, well, it's both, but right now just consume too much dairy and it's not happy. So, anyway.
Which I think is another Midwestern thing, but we'll save that for another day.
Oh yeah, that's a lot to unpack for sure. Did you say you didn't have any?
I do want to update everybody that the day after we recorded our last podcast, I got an email from Amazon Prime, wah wah, saying that they were turning off the Drama Fever channel.
You just reminded me of something.
Yes.
Okay, my mom said to me a couple days ago, so does this mean we can't watch the Maid Tour Big Bang concert?
Oh, Greg and I have already been over this. Yes.
The Maid series. I hadn't even thought of that. Drama Fever produced it.
Right. So if anybody listening isn't sure what we're talking about, when Megan and I went and sat front row at the Big Bang concert 4 years ago, 3 years ago, Drama Fever co-produced a live version of that concert. And after we came back, it was like my favorite thing to watch because they pumped it out quick. It wasn't like
and it was
months
so
later.
Well done.
It was so well done. The band knew exactly where the cameras were. They were like, it was like having Sungri in your face 24/7, which is all my dreams are made of.
The best thing you could imagine.
Made, pun intended.
No pun intended.
And yeah, I think it's gone. I don't know where else you could possibly find that.
I feel like there has to be an outlet where they'll release it some other way because I don't. Again, I feel like this is such
a money on that.
Exactly. Yeah, it was like such a huge investment, and then technically the only money they would have made on it would have been from subscriptions. I'm assuming because I know of, there's no other way to buy it. So I haven't checked iTunes or anything. I don't know if you can download it somewhere. But when my mom said that, I was just like, oh, like straight to the heart. I hadn't even thought of that. I'd thought of all those other shows that they helped produce, had not thought of the Maid concert. So if anybody knows anything, if you know if there's a way to watch it or an outlet where we can watch it, let us know because that truly is one of our favorite things. It was such a well done concert. Like both the concert and the video of the concert were really great. So
my heart is broken.
I'm so sorry that the Amazon thing didn't stop working. That sucks.
That's all right. It's no big deal. I was just on episode 11 of 12 of my show. Not a big deal. Don't need to know how it ends.
Was it My Idea's Gangnam Beauty?
Yes.
Gangnam Beauty.
Gangnam Beauty.
You only had one left.
I had one episode left, and I'm
There's got to be
bitter
a way to
about
find that one.
I can't feel that bad though because I've had several listeners reach out and say that they were just starting great shows. Like one of our listeners had just started Healer and was really starting to get into it, and I was like, oh, and she had like 3 other great classic shows that she was just starting to get into, and they're gone.
Healer popped up on Viki.
Oh, all right, everybody.
I'm pretty sure because I was scrolling through trying to find something to watch, which we're going to talk about that later, and I'm like 99% sure I saw Healer.
Okay.
Because I considered restarting it.
So today's episode, we are going to just chat.
Let's chat.
It's kind of been a while. Megan's been coming back home. I've had a lot on my plate, and
you've been busy, lady.
And
there's a bunch of little miscellaneous things that I feel like we haven't really gotten a chance to address.
Yeah. So this is going to be very similar to our Let's Chat episode and our 10 random topics. We're like combining the two. So I have 5 things I'm dying to talk to Megan about. Hopefully you have 5 things you want to talk to me about. Let's just go back and forth and get these off our chest. Let's dig in. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
All right. I got a couple things I really need to get off my chest and talk to you about. Number 1 is I started while you were sleeping.
Okay, I've seen this one.
Okay. You're ready? You're prepared to answer my question?
I'm ready to go.
I'm loving it. Loving it. However, I never, ever understood the appeal I'm going to say his name wrong, of Jong-suk. Is that his name?
Jong-suk? Yeah, yes.
I've never ever understood the appeal of the man because I thought I had never seen him in anything before. So I Googled him and was like, wait, he's been in a few shows I've seen, but I don't remember him being in those shows.
He was in Secret Garden.
He was in Secret Garden, who was he? I don't remember what character he was.
You remember there's like a gay character that Asuka like discovers? That was him. The singer.
I remember that character vividly, and I don't remember that being him.
That storyline seemed like it should be such a big part of the show because it like had a famous actor in it and it was like a compelling storyline. And I feel like we're gonna have to recap Secret Garden someday, but I feel like it was like, what? Why was that even here? I feel like it did nothing to further the plot, like at all. But anyway,
I remember that. But then he was also in Weightlifting Fairy. He was.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I don't remember him being in that.
Did he just make a cameo? Was it a cameo?
Maybe. He was one of the top billed people, I think, when I Googled it. I'm so confused. So anyway,
I have no idea what he was.
I feel bad because I know he's a very loved actor in South Korea, and I've never understood the charm or appeal. Mostly because I refuse to watch Pinocchio. Don't hate me. I just don't like the lead actress. I do not like her. I try really hard. I've seen her in a lot of shows. Oh, I feel bad. I'll give it a try someday, maybe. But
nah.
So when I started the show, I was like, all right, I have nothing against this guy. Let's give it a shot. Let's see if I like him. I'm starting to understand the appeal of this guy. I mean, it's really starting to get under my skin, and I'm only on episode 3. And also, I did not realize until I Googled his name, that the lead actress was Susie. How did I not notice that was her?
Yes.
And you know, it's funny.
Yes. I feel like I want to dislike her because she's so beautiful and amazing, and I just can't. I just love her. I think she's so captivating.
I have such conflicted feelings on her because I loved Miss A a lot.
Yeah.
And they disbanded now. They're no longer a group. But there were 2 other members of the group that I adored. And I thought Susie got like all the love and attention. So I was kind of bitter about it. Because I'm like, these other 2 are, well, they're all great. But there's 2 other members that I just was drawn to. And like, I follow them on Instagram. I love them so much. And so I was always kind of like, oh, you know, it's like you got a really good friend who you think is awesome. But like, she has a friend that outshines her. And you're like, why are you outshining her? I don't understand it. I didn't want to like her, but she's great. I love her in the show.
And I didn't really know Miss A that well. Like, I knew a couple of their songs. So I've only kind of known Susie as an actress. And it was a similar thing where I was like, what's the big deal with Susie? Why is everybody so obsessed with Susie? And it's not that I even think she's like an amazing actress. I think she's a good actress. But I also just find her deeply likable. Mm-hmm. And I like her character in While You Were Sleeping. And I'm with you, Jong-suk. I never was especially drawn to him or interested in watching anything. I started watching one of his shows, W, and it was fine, but like it didn't really capture my attention. So I've never been super drawn to him. But I had the same experience where While You Were Sleeping, I was like, oh, this is why people like him. He is really charming, and he looks good in a suit.
Let me tell you, sign me up. Sign me up for that potluck. I will bring a dish.
How far in are you?
I just started episode 3, and I fell asleep about 5 minutes into it.
Story of my life.
life.
I had pretty hardcore second male lead syndrome for Jung Hae-in, but that's also partially because it was him.
I don't.
The cop. Have you met the cop yet?
No.
Becca.
No, I don't think so.
Oh my goodness.
The episode I just started, the preview is his brother is going to go to jail. Or he had a dream that his brother was being picked up by the cops.
Yes.
So is this where this cop comes in?
I don't remember.
Interesting. So I have more to look forward to. I thought the second male lead was like the bad prosecutor guy that she dated, and I was like, no, honey, what are you doing with him?
Oh my god, I forgot all about him.
Have some self-respect.
Seriously, that is one of those things where it's like a less reassessed where we're like, okay, wait, why did she ever date him? He is a nasty person.
Hades.
Just like very
You
bad
deserve
guy.
better than this.
He remains a big part of the plot. So I watched this one when it was airing. So if I say something wrong, I apologize. But I think Hayen's going to show up pretty soon, and he is.
He has to. It's
he
episode
is
3.
I mean, like it is some solid second male leading going on, because he is like that character who is just perfect. But it's not in a way that it's like at odds with the main guy, because the main guy isn't like a huge jerk or anything either. And he's got like this whole little push and pull thing. But yeah, I'm eager to hear how this all plays out for you, because it was a big second male lead situation for me for sure. But I really liked the show. I thought it was very good. Also, one of our favorite older actors shows up like at the end of the show, and you will be delighted to see him.
Don't tell me. I don't. No spoilers.
I won't. You'll know. You'll know.
I'm gonna grab both those nuggets and put them in my back pocket.
Yes.
So I got
save
a
them
good
for
second
later.
male lead coming, and one of my favorite older actors.
Yeah, I wish I could remember when the second lead shows up, but it can't be that much longer. It has to be soon.
It's got to be this episode. Come on. Second male lead isn't in it by episode 3 or 4, then are they even a second male lead?
Yeah, where you're like, what are you just throw this at me halfway through. Also, Susie's wardrobe, I was like very into her wardrobe in this show. It was very
She's
like
stunning.
winter
She's
chic.
Stunning.
How
dare you wear nerdy glasses and look that beautiful and just make me feel terrible about myself.
Yeah, it's the story of my life again. This is part 2 of the story of my life.
Well, I'm excited. Thank you. Especially some of our listeners have been saying since day one, like, how have you not watched while you are sleeping? So thank you. I'm so confused though, because nobody's sleeping. Who's sleeping? What is the name of the show? Is it just because they sleep and these dreams come to them?
Yes.
Okay. I think I keep thinking of the rom-com while you were sleeping. Like, I was expecting her to like get knocked out.
Greatest rom-com ever.
She gets in that car accident and then she like wakes up from a coma. And I was like, so everything must have happened while she was just sleeping.
I wish it had just been a Kdrama remake of the like 1992 film while you were sleeping, because I adore that movie and would kill to see it remade.
Especially if the lead was still Bill Pullman.
Bill Pullman. Man, he was like in every movie when I was young. I thought Bill Pullman and Michael Keaton were like the 2 biggest stars on the planet. And Steve Guttenberg. It was like those 3. I was like, these are like the biggest movie stars on the planet, because they were in everything I happened to see.
Oh, all right. So that was my first one. What do you got for me?
So I wanted to address the massive waterfall of BTS content that is drowning fans.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I've not kept up with any of it. You could tell me that they are all presidents of South Korea now, and I'd be like, that seems plausible.
It is
no
almost
idea if you're
like
telling me the truth.
I honestly feel like, and I'm like pretty obsessive about it, I feel like I'm behind on everything. But I've had a couple people mention that they wanted us to chat a little bit about Mono. So I don't know if you've gotten a chance to listen to it very much.
I have listened to many times.
So yes. I'd love to talk about that. Because like I said, a lot of our listeners have been writing to us about it. But in addition to Mono, which we'll talk more about, they had the Steve Aoki song, and a video is supposed to come out for that. The Airplane Part 2 video came out. They had a Puma fan sign. There was an award show. They won like 11 awards. Jungkook did his collaboration with Charlie Puth, which if you're a BTS fan, you know he is a huge Charlie Puth fan, so that was very beautiful. They performed like 4 different songs. It was so much happening. So much happening. Even I, who am just a voracious consumer who can never be full, was like, I'm exhausted. Probably because it also fell in a week of elections in the US. So like my 2 separate like filters were both overloaded, if that makes sense. But so there's so much going on. It's all great. Let's talk about Mono, because I know people are curious.
Let's talk about Mono. I had it when I was in high school. It knocked me out for 3 solid weeks.
Girl, I had it when I was 5 years old, was the first time I got Mono. I got it again in college. Recently found out the guy that gave it to me also gave it to another girl. She has become like a film director and has a movie on Netflix, and all I have is Mono in my system forever. Like,
Well, and
that's
you
it.
have the mono BTS playlist or the RM
And I have
playlist,
RM's playlist mono.
which honestly,
so really,
I
I'm the
would say you're
luckier
winning.
of the two.
Yeah.
I agree.
All
So you
right, let's
liked
dig
it?
into
Did you
this.
like it?
I did. I felt right away. So you know me. I'm pretty honest. I'm not going to
Mhm.
lie to you about stuff if I don't like it right away. I loved it right away. I felt like you know, have you ever had it? Like for me, it was in college. I had a lot of guys that I thought were cute or I was interested in, but like we never got off the ground, never really pursued them. But it was like, I feel like every guy in college, the thing was to like make the girl that you're crushing on a playlist or like a mixtape
Oh,
or
girl.
a
We're
mix
the luckiest
CD.
generation because we lived with mixed CDs.
It was so great. And so I
Yeah.
felt like I was listening to like a very personalized playlist that somebody had made for me. And I sat down. I was lucky enough to be able to listen to it from start to finish with no interruptions whatsoever.
Wow.
And I felt very like warm. I felt like it was like a rainy day outside and I was cuddled in the warmth of a blanket with like love overflowing because somebody that I know and personally care about made me this great personalized playlist. That's how I
Yes.
felt. And then I
I
was
feel
like,
like,
wait a minute, when's he been doing all this?
oh, seriously. And I think comforting is the best word for it because it felt like a person who understands what it's like to be lonely talking to another person who understands what it's like to be lonely and telling them it's okay to feel lonely.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. That's what I
It
was gonna
did
say.
feel
Almost like melancholy, but in a very hopeful, comforting way.
not depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, melancholy, not depressing. It was definitely like a little musical journey where I felt like things were like going up and down, and I was experiencing a lot of different moods, but it was all very cohesive. It still felt like the same story. It felt like a little story. It felt like reading a book or something because I don't know, it felt really connected, but like everything was building on whatever had come before. And there are definitely songs that stood out to me, and I haven't even looked up the lyrics to most of the songs yet, which is very unlike me. I just felt like I didn't really need to. I felt like I understood what he was saying.
Yeah, I'm still that way though with there's still several songs, especially that came out on the last album that I have not looked up the lyrics to. And everybody's like, look up the
hmm
lyrics. And I just keep thinking like, no, I don't want to. Like I feel like I love the way that song makes me feel right now. And then when maybe that wears off, then I'll look up the lyrics and I'm sure it will mean something totally different or it will just enhance the way I had felt about that song.
Yeah.
Does that make
This
sense?
is, yes. And it's funny because this was not an argument, but a discussion I had with Nate while I was in LA because he is genuinely trying to understand like my passion for K-pop and specifically for BTS because I think he like wants to like BTS and just hasn't gotten into it. This is actually on my list to talk about later. But part of his complaint is like he loves lyrics and doesn't understand what they're saying. And it's hard to explain to him like, yeah, but that's part of why I like it is
Mm-hmm.
because I don't need to know what they're saying. We've talked about this so many times before. It's just there's something like so beautiful about it. I can understand what's being put forward without having to know what they're saying. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love
I
it.
did feel like there were. Did you have a favorite song?
Um, do I have to pick a favorite song? I don't know if I
You
can pick a
don't.
favorite
You don't
song.
have to. The standouts for me, I really like Tokyo. I really like Seoul. I really liked Everything Goes, Forever Rain. I like them all, but Bad Bye is like the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I feel like as a country, as a nation, as a world, we are not talking about Bad Bye enough because it is like magnificent. It was so unexpected and so unlike anything I've heard in music ever. I was blown away. It was so cool. It was so different, and I listen to it over and over and over. I
It
love
was
that
great.
one. Yeah,
The whole thing.
but
Honestly, like I said, from start to finish, I just felt like I was on, yeah, like a journey. Like a journey with a
and
friend. A journey through loneliness
and
that was not
yeah,
depressing.
no, it was like experiencing it, letting yourself
Mhm.
feel it, and that's good. I feel like I'm saying like feel all the things you're feeling. It's okay to feel all the things you're feeling. And I think that goes back to the fact that you can just see how much he's grown up in the last few years and how introspective he seems and how good he is at articulating thoughts and feelings that sometimes I think, at least for me, I try to repress so that I don't have to deal with them or feel them. And I feel like he was just with this, like, no, we're just going to feel it all. We're just going to feel it and I'm going to put it out there. That's very
Mhm.
brave and very cool and very comforting.
Yeah,
I loved it.
It was like a special present. Like, what did we do to deserve this?
It definitely, and then there were like the great lyric videos that came out, which are also great.
I haven't watched
any of them. They're really neat. The Soul one is cool. It's just like little snapshots of Soul, and it's really fun to watch. And then he did a proper music video for Forever Rain, and it's animated and it's really cool. When you get a second, watch it. It feels like it just felt like you witnessed him growing, or like we were ushered into a new chapter of his life and he's sharing it with us. That's how it feels.
I love that.
It was a very mid-20s way to feel. For anybody who's been through your mid-20s, I feel like it felt to me the way that I felt that whole time, which is like, where the heck am I going? Mm-hmm. What even am I doing? I have no idea what comes next. Little did I know that mid-20s feeling would last well into my early 30s.
Here's the thing. So I like to refer to that period of my life as like my quarter life crisis, because I honestly do feel that that's what I was going through. What they don't tell you about your quarter life crisis, though, is that it kind of lasts until your mid-30s.
Yes.
It's like a 10-year mid-year crisis.
You get like thrown into adulthood around 24, 25. And then you're like, okay, well, these are the 3 or 4 years I have to figure it out. You can't figure it out in 3 or 4 years. I know people who are like 60 years old and haven't figured it out. So maybe that's what's comforting about it, is seeing somebody begin that journey and being like, oh, I'm still here. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being here now and being on the same page as me.
And I love that the feeling that I ended up walking away with was, here's a person who's achieved massive success by outside standards. Now, I'm learning as I age that outside success and popularity and fame really equate to about jack squat.
Yes.
Internally, especially if you're not allowing yourself to love and play and explore and pursue your own passions. So to me, it was kind of comforting to feel like this person that I look up to and has achieved so much in his life still experiences the same gosh darn things that I experienced, and that sometimes I still experience. So that was,
I agree,
relatable.
Yeah.
Another gift.
He is a very fascinating, captivating person. And I feel like, as corny as it sounds, being privy to these moments of what seems like internal growth feels very exciting. It feels very exciting and reinforces all the reasons that we always talk about for loving being a part of this fandom and for caring so much about their music, because they share so much of themselves with us. And again, could it all be an act? Sure. I really don't think that it is. And that feels so good. And again, I just keep coming back to that feels so comforting.
I love that.
Yeah. So Mono, that was Mono.
It was fantastic. All right, so my next topic actually fits really well with this. And don't hate me. I have been taking like a BTS break, and I can't see it ending like for another week. I just need a little space. I feel bad. I loved Mono, but it was like that one day I woke up and I was just like, why is the internet freaking out? Why is Twitter on fire? And it was like all this stuff happened, and I was like, I just can't today. I just can't. I don't have the physical or emotional or mental capabilities to keep up with all of this right now. So I'm going to just enjoy it. I don't want to sometimes I just feel like I get it. They're giving and I love that. But it's like, I can't drink out of a fire hose, guys. Like, I would like a calm little
That's a good way to say it.
You know?
It can be stressful. It can be stressful. It's like keeping up with the Joneses, where it's like, I can't keep up with the other fans and I already feel like I'm behind sometimes. And so it is stressful. We actually had one of the people that we email with, gosh, I'm totally blanking on who it was saying that keeping up with BTS is like a second full-time job. And it's true. I mean, like, I'm unemployed right now and I can't keep up with BTS. So I don't begrudge you that. Probably it would be like a very healthy thing for me to take a little break from BTS. However, I'm not into health. I'm just into indulging my desires. So I'm still fully in. So you know what? This is good because you can take a break, step back for a little bit, and then when you're ready to come back, whenever that is, I will fill you in. I will be here to give you the deets. Yeah, no,
I always feel so bad because I always text you and I'm like, Megan, and it's not just BTS related. Some of my favorite conversations I've ever had with you have been like, can you please explain
oh my God,
the Taylor Swift Kanye fight to me in 30 seconds because I don't know what happened. I don't know why I should care, and I don't know what everybody's talking about.
that was like a couple years ago when he released that album, heard that song Famous, and he called Taylor Swift a name, and then she was like, I never said, yeah, how dare you call me that? And he was like, no, you told me I could. And then Kim Kardashian like released a message from them, and I remember I was hanging on every word of that fight, and
I
Becca
had
literally
no
was like,
idea what was
what's going on?
happening.
And I was like, please let me tell you, it is crazy. But even
Megan
now
sent
it's
me
like
a compelling thread of GIF sets, just like,
that's how
then
I
he did this and she reacted this way. And it was like my pop culture breakdown in 30 seconds. And so I feel like I do that to you all the time, though, because I'm like, can you
I
please
love it.
explain the Ariana Grande madness that is happening right now? Or can you please explain why every army on the earth is freaking out today? And thank you, Megan, for
I'm
making
so
me
happy to
feel
be that
young.
person for you. So happy to be that person for you. Although I will say, like, in general, I feel like, and maybe it is just the last couple of years have been very volatile in the United States, especially politically. There's a lot of divisive language. There's a lot going on. It's very overwhelming. And we were just talking earlier about how I just want to take a break from everything. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to know what's happening in the world, because it's like every day I wake up to some new horrible story, and running away from it is not the way to handle it. But man, do I want to some days. Just
here's what I'm doing. I have been, and maybe this is why I've been like an emotional wreck this week, but I have been trying very hard to minimize the nastiness that I'm seeing on a daily basis. Because again, it's like an assault I'm not asking for. I log onto social media or the internet, and it's like all these clickbait headlines of something terrible that's happened or some horrible insult that somebody high up in our government has said about a group of people that I think is totally inappropriate or whatever you want to say. I'm so sick of seeing it. And I'm like, I know there's good in the world. I know there is. So I've been like actively trying to seek avenues that put forth good messages. And can I share one, you guys?
Yes.
It like had me on the ground questioning everything. So I'm like running around. I'm a mom, job, busy. Busy is the word I always use and I hate using. I don't think that's a productive word at all. And I recently read this book, and in the book, the woman talks about a friend of hers is a videographer, and she had gone over to his house for dinner, and she was like, "What'd you do today?" And he's like, "Well, a really good family friend of ours is dying of cancer, and he does not have a lot of time left. And so he hired me to do some video work for him." And she was like, "Oh, what did you do?" And he's like, "Well, I really didn't know what I was expecting, and when I got over there, he was fully dressed in a suit." And he's like, I just was like, what are we doing? Like, why am I here? And he hired his friend to record him giving wedding toasts for all of his kids because he knew he wouldn't be alive for their weddings. And I was just like, it like knocked me off my feet hearing that story. And I was like, this is like, I'm sitting here worrying about the stupidest things, or worrying about somebody I don't even know that's really famous saying terrible things about groups of people that I think is just wrong beyond belief. And it's like, there really are good people out there. Like this man, his whole world all of a sudden is just about like leaving a legacy and leaving love and leaving positivity and leaving these great stories and letting everybody know how much he loves and appreciates them. And so this week for me has just been like a transformative week of trying to seek out those positive stories of like love and acceptance and happiness, and that's where I've been this week. So there's good out there, guys.
There is.
I know
and
it's
I feel
hard, but there is.
that man, I mean, this isn't comparable in this, it's not the same thing, but I feel like for me that's why I do value, and not to keep bringing them up, but BTS, is because I do feel like in general they're such a positive force in my life that like I read some terrible news story that makes me sick to my stomach, and then it's like cleanse with BTS. Like then I remember something great about them, which if you don't mind me transitioning
Go for it, please.
This is a good transition because I'm getting a little overdosed on the fan wars that are starting again, because it's like award season, And again, Becca and I have said before, we don't really necessarily understand the ins and outs of all the voting and how all of that works. So we're coming from an outsider's perspective, but I feel like all these like really angry, complicated battles between different fandoms really turn such a positive, good thing into such a negative, sad, like kind of scary thing. And it's so upsetting to me. And I mean, like, am I going to stop them? No, it can't stop them. People have been having fan wars for many, many years. But like, gosh, it really puts a damper on stuff when you're like, how are we representing these people that we claim to care about so much? It sucks. And it's like, they get really, really nasty. And of course, Sarah and I were chatting on Twitter where it's like we hear all these things that are happening and we don't even know like if they really happened because people are very I mean, it's the internet. There's like, you don't need proof. Like you just put it out there. But it does seem like it's like, man, I'm begging you guys. The world is messed up and divisive enough as it is. Let's all come together on this one thing where it's like, it's okay if you like some different group than me. We talked about this last week. I just saw it really heavily this week. The fan battles were like out of control. And after we talked about it last week, I was like, yeah, I don't really see it that much. No, it's like as soon as the first award show hit, then everybody was up in arms. And it's like, oh God, here we go. So this is a lot to take when you're trying to just find an escape and like indulge in something that makes you happy and is positive. And then it's like, never mind, everyone's yelling at each other.
Mm-hmm. Enough, guys. Enough. Do you want me to bring us up on a positive note?
Yes.
All right. So I told you I really, really like Miss A.
Yes.
I did. Loved them. The other girl group I was obsessed with was Sistar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's kind of gone off on her own right now, but I am developing like a not developing. This has been ongoing for a long time and I'm just finally getting comfortable enough to verbalize it. I have the biggest girl crush ever on Hyorin, who's like the lead. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm obsessed.
Googling.
Obsessed. It's Hyorin. She is phenomenal singer, phenomenal dancer. Her looks make me question my own sexuality. Like she is stunning. And then she's one of the few Korean idols, I guess I'll call her an idol, who is like really pushing the boundaries of like Korean beauty standards. Like she's almost always tan, which you never see. She has a giant cross tattoo on her midriff, like a huge cross tattoo. And it shows in like every single music video.
Oh yeah,
like,
I see it.
Yeah, I feel like she's like really pushing some boundaries. And I just think she's just a she boss. I love her. I'm in love with this singer. I think she's so phenomenal and she's been doing all these tours. I highly recommend following her on Instagram because she has some really fun videos and stuff, but
I'm gonna follow her right now.
Crush. I feel like I just need to get off my chest that I've been a big fan of hers for a long time and I never know. Like I always feel like it's so appropriate for us to gush about like the guy groups we like and give props to like the women that we think are strong and we like them because they're doing whatever, but I honestly feel like if I can gush over how hot a guy is, I should be able to gush over how hot a girl is, and she's gorgeous.
You know what? I agree. I would be happy to gush over some hot girls soon because there are so many, like, especially idols where you're just like, you are so, like, physically striking. Like, I can't, and like so powerful on screen and on stage, and it's like overwhelming how hot. Dang it, what's her name? Well, we've got to put like a pin in this a little bit because I would love to do an episode where we just talk about like it's beyond the Woman Crush Wednesdays. Just like check out these hotties.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm not gonna be able to think of her name. Anyway, there's she's a solo artist and she had like a whole bunch of hits this summer, and I don't know why I'm blanking, but I finally watched her videos and I was just like, like blown away by how cool she is, how talented she is. She's super gorgeous. She's smoking hot. Don't remember.
And that's the thing. I feel like maybe again, because I'm an older fan. I don't know, but I feel like when I was younger, it would be like I would see somebody like this and just be overcome with envy or just hardcore nasty jealousy. And I don't feel this way about this particular singer. A lot of them, like even like IU is just stunning and beautiful and talented, but I never look at them and think like, God, I wish I was you. I just look at them and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that a person can look like that. Like, I'm so excited for you.
I do feel like maybe like with age comes a certain level of like, this is what it is. This is who I am. I'm never going to look like these women. So I'm just going to appreciate how they look because they look amazing.
And quite frankly, I don't want to have to put in time and effort that it takes to look like them. It takes too much time and effort this takes, and this is like we're
bare
talking
minimum
mid-range beauty. Like,
yeah,
I don't have any
literally
more time and energy to put into it.
I described my look today as like, or like my makeup look today as like the minimum of what it takes to not look dead. Because when I wake up, it's like very borderline zombie. And I had somebody say to me one time something like, oh, I love that you don't wear that much makeup. And I'm like, no, I wear tons of makeup. I have so much makeup on just to look alive every day. It's like all
just to look
makeup.
semi-healthy.
Just so that, yeah, and I've said this many times, just so someone doesn't ask me, are you sick? Oh my God, are you sick? No. This is just how I look.
I think you're a
I like that.
Cold Stone Stunner.
Girl, same. You look amazing. I also feel like we need to do a little more appreciation for the girl groups because we've threatened many times that we would. Actually, you know who I have like a massive crush on is Sulgi from Red Velvet.
Well, yeah, picked well.
She's one who, like, every time she comes on screen, I'm like, oh, my heart's beating because she has such presence and she's so beautiful and she can sing so well. And like, I just love her look. I love the way she looks and she has like, it's that presence where you can't really put it into words. Like, this is a star.
Yeah.
I love her.
Honestly, anymore, anytime I see any photo or any video of Blackpink, I'm like, all right, girls.
Oh my God. I don't listen to them that much. I've heard their singles, but Lisa, like the minute I saw Lisa, I was like, this is the cutest girl I've ever seen in my life. I'm obsessed with her.
I love them all. I love them all. Like it's one of those things where like you tell me any video and I'll tell you what they're wearing. Like I really am starting to get into that Blackpink train and
okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't think I would like them because they're so young, but hey, the heart wants what the heart wants.
That's our motto here.
Dance to what the body wants to dance to.
That is our motto here on Noona Ya Business for sure.
Yep. All right, what else you got?
My biggest complaint right now is the show hole. I'm in a show hole.
Oh no.
I've started a couple things and I've liked them, but there's nothing that even like really on the horizon that I'm especially looking forward to. So this is mostly just a really quick plea. If there's anything you guys know it's coming out pretty soon, let me know just so I have something to live for. Because I just have nothing really, like, nothing's tickling my fancy. Is that the saying? Mm-hmm. Tripping my trigger? That's violent. Nothing is
pulling your rope.
Nothing is exciting. Nothing's pulling my tail. I don't know. I'm just looking for something. So someone help. Although on the horizon there is chatter that Run BTS will return soon. So
well, that's good. Maybe I'll finally start watching one.
Part of me never wants you to, and then like someday I want to like lock you in a cabin for like 48 hours straight and make you watch them all with me for the first time.
Got it.
Like if I ever get engaged and I have a bachelorette party, that's what it's going to be. It's just going to be you and me in a secluded area watching all of Run BTS.
Let's do it. God, that sounds like a great bachelorette party.
Right? That's what I want to do.
Let's go to that great Korean spa in Chicago that we keep saying we're going to go to and we never do.
King Spa. Mm-hmm.
Let's go to that great Korean barbecue restaurant that we've been to.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's go back to the spa, pull up your iPad, and just watch it all night. Can we spend the night there like they do in Korea?
Yeah. I don't know if you can spend the night. I haven't researched it enough. Check into that.
Flash enough green at them, I bet you can do just about anything.
You know, us VIP types.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
do you know who we are? We're
My
no one.
middle income family in the Midwest.
I'm unemployed. I want to point out that I just like was drinking coffee and chasing it with Coke. Like I was like, I took a drink of coffee and then I just chased it with a drink of Coke. If I have a beverage near me, which I have to have something to drink near me all the time, but if there's one near me, I like can't help it. I have to drink it. I just wanted to point out that I know that was weird.
You're a champion, Megan.
I don't think that's it.
All right. My next thing, real briefly. I got to episode 11 of my ID is Gangnam Beauty. Do I need to search out 12 illegally? Anybody who's finished that show, honestly, it was kind of getting bored at the end. I was like, I get it. You're happy.
Common problem with K-dramas, I feel like it's that 12th or that last episode is almost unnecessary like 60% of the time.
See, but I'm only, you know me, I'm a finisher. I don't start
you
things
are.
unless
You
I
have
finish.
to finish
and
it.
It's bothering me that it's hanging over my head.
I understand that.
I want to be able to suffer through this. Let me suffer.
Man, you're so different from me. I'm like, it's about to get painful. No. I will not subject myself to this.
So that was my fourth thing. What do you got?
Yeah. My fourth thing was, again, really briefly, because it kind of leads into my fifth, so maybe we'll just do this as one. I feel like I just wanted to talk about that nervousness that I feel whenever I'm trying to introduce someone new to K-pop or K-dramas. I get like, I wonder if anybody else has this experience, but I get like physically uncomfortable. And I think it's because I'm so hopeful that they're going to like it and not just dismiss it that I get nervous, where it's like, I feel like I'm showing them something I made and I'm waiting to be criticized for like something that I made. Now, I say this because this happens whenever I show it to anybody. Like, I'm sure I felt that way when I first asked you to watch a K-drama, or you first said you were going to watch a K-drama, and I got like very nervous that you weren't going to like it. But you did, and often people aren't that like rude about it if they don't like it. But Nate, like I said, was like, I'm ready for you to try to explain BTS to me, because we had dinner with our friend Janelle, who went to the Big Bang concert with us, became like a total fan of Big Bang. She became a huge Winner fan, huge Icon fan. Recently has become a really big BTS fan. And she and I were like fangirling and talking about it and having like these great conversations. And Nate was there. And finally, the day before I left to come back, he was like, okay, well, just show me like all the stuff. And then I want to feel it. And he just like doesn't get it. I can't get him into it. And I think that generally speaking, it's partially because he just isn't really into pop music. And I feel like they're a pop group. They are like, they do popular music. They do dance music. They do stuff that you'd hear on the radio. And Nate's like a hipster, like indie. He has great music taste and he can appreciate some pop music, but like I kept showing him songs and it was like slam dunk home run songs, like Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Save Me, songs that I'm like, how can you not think this is the greatest song in the entire world? And he was just not biting. He just didn't like them. He was like, this is so generic. I know it is. And it was like, and he was like, don't be mad at me that I don't like him. And I'm like, I'm not mad at you. I'm disappointed because it's so fun to share this with people. So I feel like more just like bummed out, I guess, but I'm not mad. Now, to close this off, I will say he did try, and he sat there for like 2 or 3 hours and just watched stuff with me. And he was like, I like them as people. I like who they are. I just can't get into the music. And he couldn't get into the videos, which shocked me because I think their videos are incredible. Now, then I played for him Mono, and he was like floored, like totally loved it. And he loves RM also. He was very, even as we were watching the BTS stuff, he was like, there's just something about RM that I love. I think he's great. So that felt good. And again, he's like, I understand why people like it. I just don't like it. And it was such a bummer. It was such a bummer. Because Nate and I are like almost always on the same page about everything, except the movie La La Land. That was our last big fight. I effing hated that movie, and Nate loved that movie.
Nate would love that movie.
Oh my God, I hated it so much. And that's a totally unpopular opinion. I know people love that movie. Ask me why I hated it. I'd be happy to talk through it. Anyway, so that's all. That was on my mind, and I had like texted you like it's never gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel you, because it's like you want to be able to. It's just one more thing that makes you so happy that you're like, I just want to share this happiness that I'm feeling with you. So when when it doesn't make them happy or they don't understand how you can be happy from it, I don't know, it's disappointing.
And he said that too, where he's like, I feel really bad that this one thing that is like your everything is the one thing you like that I don't really like. It's like, well, we can't all be exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then we called my mom and she was like, you're dumb. BTS is great.
You have somebody.
He was like, I just don't like them. And she's like, well, you should.
I just have you. I don't have anybody else.
You always have me. And you have Jeff. Jeff is there for us too.
That's true.
But my mom and Nate both did agree they like Big Bang better than BTS, and I'm like, I can't pick. It's like choosing my favorite child. Anyway, those are my 4 and 5. What do you got for your fifth one?
All right, my last fifth one it's not a complaint. It's just kind of a disappointing statement. So I love Winter. Love Winter. Love iKON. So many groups right now that I'm really starting to get into. Monsta X is great.
Mm-hmm.
But I've started to go back into like the Winter archives. And there used to be 5 members.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to really appreciate how great it was when there was 5 members. And I feel like I missed like a big part of their childhood. And I'm really sad about it. Is that weird?
No, that makes sense. It was like it's not that they're a different band now, but it is just like a different experience. And they've released some stuff since Nam Taeyeon, was that his name? Left. But there was something really magical about them as that 5-person unit. It
just makes me sad. Like
yeah, Pentagon, so, Edon.
Pentagon. Yes. Is he officially kicked out of the group?
The last I heard, somebody had to fill me in on this because I got confused. The last I heard, so the company was gonna Cube, I think, was gonna kill their contracts, and then the pushback was terrible. So they're like, okay, we're in negotiations, and then I believe they were released from their contract. So I think they're gone, but I don't know what that means for Pentagon. I mean, I'm assuming it means that he's not in Pentagon anymore.
So is Pentagon still with Cube? I guess I'm confused by all of that.
I believe Pentagon is still with Cube. Cause then like the day after it happened, I guess Hyuna put up photos of her,
of them like
the
on
two of them on a date, and it was really sweet. Cool. Yeah. Let's see, Pentagon. Oh, because they have a song called Shine. That's why we're always getting confused.
That's why I'm always getting confused.
Okay, I'm getting news about the Pentagon. And I don't want to know about that.
South Korea, if anybody from the entertainment industry is listening, you got to help us out. Big Bang, I can't Google Big Bang without getting the Big Bang Theory. I can't Google Pentagon without getting our Pentagon. And there was something else I Googled the other day, and I was like, this is American. I'm looking for the South Korean. Oh, while you were sleeping, I was trying to look up the cast list, and I just kept getting the American one.
Honestly, BTS, sometimes that happens, where it's like, I'm looking up BTS something, and it's just behind the scenes stuff.
Yes.
Although it goes the other way for a lot of people on Twitter. Will try to tag like BTS for behind the scenes, and then they do the official BTS hashtag, and then they get like the little army symbol. Okay, yeah. So they were allegedly under contractual agreement to stay single if they were performing under the label.
Come on, how can you make somebody not like somebody else?
I know.
You don't own their soul.
Weird thing to have to live with.
We may have to do a whole episode on that, on the contractual things that they have to agree to, because I don't. There's a dark underbelly here sometimes.
So I can't right off the bat find exactly what happened with it. I kind of lost track of that. To be honest,
does anybody know? Megan's my pop culture guru. If any of our listeners
I'm failing.
Know where that has ended, let us know, because I'm curious.
That was very confusing, wasn't it? Like that whole
situation. It escalated very quickly too. It was like, oh, they might be dating. To okay, now she's leaving and he's gonna get kicked out of this group. And
yeah, and I really
they didn't commit murder. They're dating.
Okay, on October 15th, Cube confirms her departure from the agency. So he must have left also?
Nah. I was just curious. I tried to
What
Google
the
it last
heck
night
month
and
is
couldn't
it?
see
I don't
anything.
even know.
It's November, Megan.
What
Welcome
year
to
is
it.
it? Where am I? Who am I?
Nobody
What's
woke
happening?
you up after September ended.
No. That happens to me every year. Every year.
All right.
Anyway, yeah. How did we get to that?
I was just curious of what
I
their
couldn't
status
remember
was.
like if I had like in the middle of some other conversation just like totally changed the subject.
No.
Man, now I'm really thinking about that. I'm gonna see if I can find out myself, and I'll get you some answers.
I'm curious. Thank you.
You're
All right,
welcome.
should we play our game?
Yes. Are you doing okay on time?
Yeah, I've got 20 minutes.
We can do this.
So it was requested.
This was a request from
I would say you
Gabriella.
Gabe. I can't talk today. Gabriella.
This was her request. She said BTS as like fragrances or smells, and she actually gave us her answers, and they are excellent answers. And mine are going to pale in comparison because I'm a basic lady. Like she said, BTS or GOT7 as smells or fragrances, or like lotions. She was being really specific. And we decided to do BTS because we did GOT7 last week with Trick or Treaters. So this is us doing just BTS as smells. She did, I think, now that I think about it, like what they would smell like or like how you would think they would smell based on what you know about them. I guess technically that's what mine is too.
Mine kind of is the same way. Kind of.
We'll see. Do you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah. So oldest to youngest.
Okay.
BTS's smells. I had
Yeah.
Jin would be the smell of cookies right out of the oven. Like you walk in the house and you're like, somebody made cookies. And they're mouth-watering. Like you don't even have to see them, and your mouth is already watering. You can't wait to taste them. But they're always one of those things where like it's like a look, don't touch, because they're so pretty on the pan, and it's like they're still super hot. You can't touch them. You gotta set them aside, let them cool off for a bit, and then you can go to town. And that's kind of how my relationship with Jin has been. But also, I just think of cookies right out of the oven, and I'm like, yeah, Jin, yes.
Yes. I similarly thought it would be like food in general, but I was thinking of like when you come home and you smell like someone has just begun the process of cooking. So you can like smell garlic and olive oil, and you can smell like fresh vegetables that have just been cut. And it's like all the pieces of a meal. And it's like very overwhelming and very natural and comforting. But also like you can't eat it because it's not ready. It's really frustrating. Or like the distant smell of food where you're driving along with the windows down and you pass like a fried chicken place and you're like, oh my God, that smells amazing. But like you're already gone. Like you can't have it. You've already passed it. You want it so
just
bad,
out of my reach.
and you can't stop smelling it after you leave. But it's like I'll never have that food, and it's such a bummer.
All right, Yoongi. I have that he is the smell like right before it rains, or right when it starts to rain.
Yes,
and
very
you step
clean.
outside, and it's like you just. It's just instinctual. You just take like a deep breath. Like you completely fill your lungs with the smell of that smell of like the earth being cleansed and like hydrated and brought back to life. And oh, that might be my favorite smell of all time. But it
That's
just
so
reminds me of
wonderful.
Yoongi. You know, it
That's
just
so
calms
wonderful. Yes. Again,
me.
sort of similar in that like sense of it calms me. So I said, okay, bear with me. I said like a pain relief patch, like that minty medicated smell. And I
All
was
right.
like trying to figure out why that smell came to mind as like a comforting smell. And then I realized growing up, my mom has like a lot of muscle pain. So at night she puts on this like liniment that smells like mint and I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a medicine-y smell, but it's like very fresh and intense. And she would always put it on before bed, and she called it her perfume because when I would hug her goodnight, it made me think of like going to bed. And so it's like a super comforting, quieting smell. So I was thinking of like that, like the things you smell before you go to bed that like are comforting and like make your body relax right before you fall asleep.
That
So I
sounds
thought of that.
magical.
And then I thought of like also lavender, which is also very like nighttime, like putting lavender lotion on your hands and like feeling really relaxed and calm in your body, just like calming down. So like those calming smells for me and very familiar smells. So that was like a very, very intense story to go along with me saying that he smells like medical pain relief.
Like icy
patches.
hot?
He smells like icy hot, but to me that's like a wonderfully comforting smell. That reminds me of my mother and of home.
Bizarrely specific smell, but I can see where you're going with that.
You know what I mean? Like those that smells of like as you're falling asleep, the things you smell as you're falling asleep. So
I get that.
Thank God you get it.
All right, J-Hope. He smells like popcorn. Where again, you walk into a building.
That's such a good one.
Or a room. You don't even have to see it, and you're like, oh, there's popcorn here.
That's such a good one.
You're cooking it, and like 20 people run down the hallway, and they're like, who's cooking popcorn? Like everybody can smell it. As soon as you smell it, you immediately want some. And you just know it's going to be fluffy and salty and buttery and delicious, and it's all those good things. And it's also very loud. Like it's a smell that has a sound, kind of, you know?
And it's really expensive.
Yes.
Yes. It's like J-Hope and his fashion tastes. It's real expensive. It is very expensive for like the fact that
for what you're getting.
This is a rant about the movie theater industry. The markup on popcorn and soda is like the biggest markup in retail. But I mean it more like J-Hope is like always has like crazy designer stuff on. He's an expensive fella, just like popcorn. I said like a cake. Like, you know how somebody makes a cake and then everything smells like cake and you're just like, oh my God, I get cake today. This is the best.
Yes.
So it's like warm cake with just been frosted. I love that smell and it's like so happy and so sweet and so special where it's like, it's a good day because you got cake today.
That sounds like delicious.
You got freshly baked cake.
This is making me hungry. Is this supposed to make me hungry?
How come no matter what the topic is, you and I are always somehow making it food related?
We're like gins. We're like older female gins.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Less famous.
Poor, old lady gins.
Uglier versions
Ugly
of gin.
lady gins.
That sounds like a really fun drink that you would order at a bar.
The ugly lady gin.
I'll have the old-fashioned gins. The old, unattractive gins. Double shot, please.
You gotta invent that drink now because I'm gonna make it for you.
RM. Okay, this one was the first one that came to me. I feel like RM would smell like a book, like that great smell.
Yes.
In college, I was a nerd.
The best.
I'm still a nerd, but I would go to the library for hours and just like walk and like sit down and just grab old textbooks and like comb through the pages slowly and just like inhale that smell. And it's not just books, but like if you get a brand new notebook, it's like that first page has a smell.
The paper.
It's like the smell of possibilities and knowledge and potential.
You don't know. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. Oh,
that's great.
That smell. I love that smell.
I also love the smell of books. I love the smell of books. Like I would have been known to just like bury my face in it, like suck it in.
Smells so good. And when I grew up, my dad worked at a printing company, so he always smelled like
paper,
print press, like paper and ink, and I just love that smell.
That's really nice.
It's good, such a good smell.
Yeah. I said trees, and this was, I think Gabrielle and I had similar answers, but not like, he doesn't smell like pine scented things. He smells like being outside near pine trees, like kind of like with Yoongi and the Right Before It Rains. It's like all the best smells of nature where it's just like fresh air and crisp morning air and that like vague scent of trees where it's just like, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm happy. So I think that's what I was thinking of him as just like that natural smell of trees.
I love that. Jimin, I had that he would smell like vanilla. which is like my second favorite smell of all time. Because to me, vanilla just smells like a long extended hug or warmth or summer or it's just like everything is going to be all right. Like the smell of vanilla to me is just soothing and calming. I just think it's the best. Oh, I love the smell of vanilla.
I do too. I also am realizing as we talk about this that I have very basic scent knowledge because Gabrielle's were so good and detailed and specific of like, she had like words like sandalwood, like beautiful smells. And I'm like, for Jimin, mint? But again, not like peppermint, like that like sharp freshness of mint where it just smells really clean, like really clean and fresh and simple. And
so like brushing my teeth?
Like the way brushing your teeth makes you feel.
I like that.
It would smell like that without smelling like overpoweringly of mint.
Okay, well, not to be disgusting, but Jimin makes me feel not clean. But I can see where you're going with that.
He smells like dirty, dirty mint. It's like a peppermint that you've like thrown on the ground and just like shoved into the dirt. You're like, oh, this mint is so much better now. I've ruined it. I don't know. I felt like he was a hard one because I can't even imagine being close enough to smell him.
I mean,
I would like to imagine that.
Man, if anybody on the off chance that anyone in our tens of listeners has ever been close enough to smell anybody in BTS, I will pay you $10 if you send us an email and tell us what they specifically smelled like. Because I am dying to know now.
Well, they've said before, like, what kind of cologne they wear. But
that's different because there are your body, your pheromones, your actual smell combined with a scent will change that scent.
Right.
So even if they wear that kind of cologne, it will smell a little bit different on them than it would on somebody else.
That's a good point.
I would just love to know what they would smell like.
Girl, me too.
Me is a dangerous cavern we're going down.
This topic, I didn't expect it to take me to places that it is taking me. It's taking me to places. You're the one who brought up pheromones, in fairness.
I take responsibility.
You have to. Because it's getting weird.
All right. B. This is the most specific one I have. I have that B would smell like Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet, which is my personal fragrance that I wear. It's the most expensive perfume I've ever bought for myself. It's probably the only perfume I'll ever buy for myself. But it's that like expensive, like one of a kind, you only wear it on special occasions kind of scent. I love the smell of that perfume. And I just feel like V would just be like, it would just blow you away. Like he would walk by and you would just have that in your head all day, what he smelled like.
Oh, that's the best. When people smell so good, you like want to just like bury your face in their head and be like, I also think he would smell kind of floral, like, but a really complex, not just like flowers, like a really complex layered smell of kind of like vanilla and I don't know smells. Flowers. It's like something very complex and kind of complicated and really like you have to like unpack all of the smells that come with it. But in general, it's like a pleasant floral smell.
I feel like the next Jungkook, you're just gonna be like Clorox.
Oh, girl, you want me to go? I said Axe body spray.
You know what though? I know exactly what that smells like.
But
so I feel
generic. Like I kind of said that as a joke because I honestly think he said a bunch of times he's like very sensitive to smells, so I think he tends to wear fragrances that are like very like floral and kind of sweet. But just like as a person, I just expect him to smell like manly, but like not trying super hard. Like the other thing that came to mind was like Febreze, where it's like it smells clean, but you know it's like lazy clean, where it was like too lazy to actually clean, so you just like spray Febreze on it. And it's fine. It's fine. It gets the job done.
But I mean, at least there was effort. There's effort put in there.
You're like, I feel like you could have worked harder on this. But I was just like, something, I don't know. He was a hard one too, because it's like, I know the truth about him, which is that he actually cares very much about how he smells. But in my heart of hearts, I feel like he wouldn't smell like he cares very much. What did you have for him?
This was not what he would necessarily smell like, but a smell that makes me think of Jungkook. Bacon. Just bacon. Like,
yeah.
You wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, that's sweet. There's bacon here. And I know you don't love bacon. But
I think it's overused. In our society.
As a farmer's daughter, I really appreciate bacon. And
I like the smell and I like the taste.
Yes. And I just feel like, I always feel like whenever I see bacon, whether it's like at a buffet or my mother-in-law's house, or even if my husband cooks it for breakfast some weekend, I'm always just like, you made all this for me? Like, it's like a special treat. And then I always feel really guilty after I consume it, but I feel like I smell like it all day. Like, everybody knows I consumed all this bacon. And I kind of feel that way about JK, where it's like, I can't like him. But then if I do, I'm just like, I feel guilty all day. And I'm like, I should not have consumed that much material with him in it today.
He should, like, saying he smells like a diner is like the perfect thing, because you're right. It's like all the things you love, and it's all kind of an indulgence, and it's all very, very, very good and comforting. But then you will never stop smelling it until you change your clothes. Like, it is all encompassing and will change your life. For that day, specifically.
For that day. For that hour. Until you leave.
Right. For like,
and then you go outside
until you can,
and
like, walk around for a
while.
while.
Smell that fresh scent of rain. Then you're like, now my life has changed.
Not me. Somehow that diner smell just clings to me forever. Just like grease and oil and meat.
Like gasoline? Does gasoline remind you of
gasoline? Yes. The fresh smell of gasoline. It's like, I have no idea. Who knows?
Who knows?
I literally couldn't even, like, pretend to guess what Jungkook would smell like. I bet it smells great, though. I bet it is a good smell.
Here's the thing.
The other one I kept thinking was like sweat, but like not in a bad way, in a like just like a dude way. I don't know.
Yeah, here's the thing though. Like, I've known you for a very long time. I've hugged you so many times. I couldn't tell you what you smell like.
I feel like same with you. I don't really have a scent. Occasionally I'll put on a fragrance, but I feel like most of the stuff I wear just wears off by the end of the day. So I'm kind of done with it. I use, like, all the lotions that I use are like mint and herb kind of things, like mint rosemary or whatever, because I like a really light smell. But also as I age, I feel like you said, like, your hormones make things smell different on you, and I feel like now I'm more aware of the way things smell on me, and I like don't like it, so I don't wear perfume as much.
Look at us.
As always, this becomes a contemplation of aging. It's like the last time I got my hair dyed, my stylist was like, oh, your hormones are weird. It's not taking the dye like it used to. And I was like, oh, that's a thing? My hair is now rejecting hair dye. Cool.
Well, I had a wisdom. I'm going to get my wisdom teeth out, apparently. I'm not very happy about it, but I had my consultation today. And the first thing he said, now keep in mind, this guy's like almost 70, and he walks in the room. I have not even met him yet. And the first thing he says is, well, you know, people of your age. And I was like, have I reached that part of my life now where every conversation is going to start with people of your age?
People of your age.
What is happening?
I got mine out last 2 years ago. God, time flies. But it was the same thing when I walked in there, like, you know, typically people do this when they're 19. And it's like, well, typically I would have if someone had told me that.
Same here.
But
Why
no
did you
one
wait to tell
did.
me till I was in my 30s? I didn't
No
ask
one
for
raised any concerns about this until I was straight up 29 years old. And now you're like, oh, you better hurry. Those things are going to kill you. It's like, it's not like I haven't been coming to the dentist. No one's ever expressed concern before. And then suddenly it's like, you're basically dead.
And then it's like, again, 0 to 60, where they're like, you need to get these out, or yeah, you'll
Like, it's
be
like,
a raging
we
weirdo
need to
for the
take them
rest of
out
your life.
now, right
Yeah.
now. They have to go now. And I want to know, okay, again, evolution, how come we still have them?
If everybody's getting just like evolution, if we're all shaving our legs, why are we still getting hair on our legs?
Oh, if you don't want us, okay, appendixes, why do we still have those? Because they just explode. Tonsils, everybody just ends up getting those out. Don't serve any stupid purpose. Your wisdom teeth, which apparently can kill you. Like, come on.
We need answers, universe.
What's going on with our bodies? They're terrible. They're still terrible.
Why did you take drama fever away from us?
Bad. We're not okay. We have a lot going on.
So I guess I'm going to hop on your question then, and I will be out of commission for a couple of days. In a couple of weeks, I'm just going to go in and get all this taken care of, I guess. And
I can't wait.
The most promising thing ever came out of his mouth of, you should expect to be very sore and extremely swollen in your face. I'm like, I'm already swollen in my face, man.
Well, does he mean like more than the average person for some reason?
I think so. They got to do a lot of digging. It's like in there. So anyway, I will need recommendations because I'm hoping to be highly medicated and on the couch for a while. So if anybody has any show recommendations, please let us know.
I think we, as a group, fellow friends out there, we can all come together and compile a list of things for Becca to watch. We'll work on it.
You need new things to work on. So yeah.
Truth. Very true. So
anyway, my earbud is dying. So Megan, do you want to take us out of here?
Yes. As always, everyone, we want to hear from you. You can email us at megan@noonyabusiness.com, becca@noonyabusiness.com. Find us on social media, Twitter at Noona Ya Business, Facebook at Noona Ya Business. You can also find us on YouTube, we're Noona Ya Business. You can find us on Podbean, Spotify, iTunes. Please leave us a review, send your feedback. We want to know what you're watching, what you're listening to, and we hope to hear from you this week.
And soon Stitcher. I think our application was finally accepted.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yay. It worked. Thanks for doing that. Also, check out our sponsor, whoarted.com, who-arted.com. That's ARTED. That's our podcast sponsor.
Yay.
Almost forgot.
I have no idea what episode this is. This is 39?
39?
So I do this every time. I should really look it up. So
I always think, like, I'll look it up too, but I didn't.
So whether this is your first episode, and I'm just going to guess and say your 39th episode, we're so thankful you're here. Thank you for talking to us. Thank you for fangirling with us. We love each and every single one of you.
39
Everybody
is right.
starts their emails to us saying like, I'm so sorry to bother you, or I don't mean to email, and it's like, that's what we like, so don't apologize. Please email us.
Or like for those people who want to write like, not to be weird about this, it's like, no, be weird.
Be weird.
We like weird. Please bring on the weird.
I told Megan, like, I don't want to be like in the area of TMI. And Megan was like, it's always NEI. Not enough information. It's never too much.
No, you cannot
in,
guys. Us. Yeah.
Guys and gals, come talk to us. So anyway, yeah, thank you so much. And we will talk to you all next week. Bye.